babies are wait, what are they? You're a right wing?
No, now if you have babies, you're a fascist.
What the hell are you talking
Look
about?
at that little bastard.
Fascist right there. Look at that Nazi piece of crap.
Nationalist. Look at him on white bed
Yeah, look at him. Look at him rolling over on the minorities. Look at that white.
That baby's
freak.
one sip away from wearing the khakis. You know.
Yeah, look at that prick. I'm sorry.
But anyhow,
adorable.
So I was doing research, see what I was going to talk about, and I saw probably 10 articles about how having babies is a right wing thing now. There was a fair, like a convention, and natalist convention. So basically, people advocating for us to make more babies. This is going to be a big problem. Like most Western countries and civilized countries, especially Japan and China, it's going to be a problem as well. We're not replacing ourselves fast enough.
Old people are dying, and there's no.
The old people are dying. We don't have enough people to work, live, and enjoy whatever we're doing. Like people can argue that you can make robots do everything, and we can have a bunch of old people being assisted. But what's the point of doing anything if you don't have another generation to enjoy what you're doing?
Yeah.
So this is an article from Political. Like I'm gonna put the link on the description. And basically tear apart all these people that are trying to put out there that the best thing you can do with your life is having kids. And I don't have kids myself, but these two gentlemen here might agree.
You're on the market, though.
I'm on the market. We're trying to make a few babies.
So am I.
So I went into a deep dive, and we're gonna go to the video. This guy does a very quick, because I didn't know there was a spectrum to having kids or not having kids. Like anything that the left touches, it becomes a spectrum and becomes like...
Well, you do know that the deep dive is the first step towards baby making. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm out of here. Been thinking about that for 10 minutes.
No, the next... Yeah, I brought a video. Like I found this on YouTube, and he does a really good job explaining. Like,
okay,
because there's people that are pro-life and pro-choice. That is the biggest lie. Like you're pro-abortion.
Yeah,
that's a marketing plot. Then you have natalist. Then you have ethicist. You know what an ethicist is?
No, what?
They believe you shouldn't have babies and you should kill yourself.
You should end your life at some point.
And end your life. If you can, end your life quickly. Then you have antinatalist. That means that you shouldn't kill yourself, but you shouldn't have babies. And then
people have problems. Dude.
Here's a video. And then on the other side of the spectrum.
Well, am I predicting this comes from TikTok? This video?
Yeah,
probably. Let's see what the Chinese are wanting us to listen to. Go ahead.
Natalism can be represented as an ideological spectrum ranging from maximum reproduction to none at all. But let's start in the middle. The status quo perspective is that you can have abortions, but it's sad. And you can conceptualize this by being either pro-choice or pro-life. Branching out from that, though, you have firm anti-natalism, which posits that abortions are good, actually. Take Our Child Free as an example, celebrating a childless lifestyle and encouraging others not to have children. Pro-natalism, on the other hand, celebrates childbirth, restricts abortion access, and advocates for incentives to be given for people who have children. Extinctionism, represented here by the voluntary human extinction movement, is the hardline position that all of us should stop having children right away because life is bad. No murder or suicide, just no babies. Opposing that, we have a kind of life supremacy that forces everyone to reproduce as much as possible. And then off the spectrum, we have ethylism. Remember how I said no murder or suicide? Ethylism says all life and all species is bad and should be ended actively. And finally, immortalism is when you can't escape life, even if you want to. That's right, this end of the spectrum has gone from vaguely left-wing coded to an immortalist tech bro fever dream.
Jeez. What the hell?
I feel dumber for having watched that.
My brain hurts.
And I saw the video. I was like, okay, Chinese propaganda TikTok video. And there is actually books on books on books arguing for all these positions. I was like, wow. When they start experimenting to make lab science,
lab raised embryos.
No, they were trying to make life.
Yeah. Okay. Recreate life in a lab.
Recreate life, and they had 3 rules for something to become life. It needs to move, reproduce, and
die.
No, taking some type of energy, like it could be eating or it could be taking energy from the sun, and those are the three things that you need to do. And every species, the main task is to have another generation.
Of course.
And they're making everything so complicated. And then a few days ago, Elon Musk came out with this tweet. If you can read it, I can read it.
The problem with great replacement theory is that it fails to address the what?
Foundational issue.
Foundational of low birth rates. Record low birth rates are leading to population collapse in Europe and even faster population collapse in most of Asia. Immigration is low in Asia, so there is no replacement going on. The countries are simply shrinking away. If it doesn't turn around, then any countries on Earth with low birth rates will become empty of people and fall into ruin, like the remains we see of the many long dead civilizations. Wow.
Well, but okay, I'm not sure I agree with the factual premise there. There's some countries where there's not enough natural population growth, and they're replacing it with immigration. There's many countries where there is not a birth rate problem, and the great replacement theory, which I've said before, is not a racist or racial theory.
No.
It's a political theory. And you take Canada, where they have basically no natural population growth, and 97% of population growth is immigration. That is the great replacement theory, but I don't believe that the big producing countries are having a meaningful decline in population growth.
Is Canada, so Canada, you said
97% of population growth in Canada is immigration.
So
and they want to call the great replacement theory a racist ideology, a far right ideology.
How many people are in Canada that are like
38 million now?
Are they not having sex? Are they just not having sex?
They're not having babies in any meaningful sense.
Well, when you have Justin Trudeau as your leader, like who even wants to think about sex?
When you promote everything which is fundamentally anti-life,
killing people.
I've got no moral issues with homosexuality, but it makes it difficult to reproduce.
Big
I've
time.
got moral
Very
issues
hard.
with transgenderism ideology and pushing it on kids who become sterile as a result of the gender-affirming care.
Yeah.
Pro-abortion. Canada's one of two only nations in the world that has no criminal prohibition on abortion at any time of pregnancy.
Period. You can kill the baby.
They say you know, in theory, it's not criminally prohibited, but you won't find a doctor that does it after, I don't know, 30 weeks or something.
And then euthanasia.
Euthanasia, we're not leading, we're up there.
Yeah.
You're up there.
It's the euthanasia is the number 5 killer in Canada. It accounts for 4.2% of death in Canada. And then they say population's not growing, so we got to fill it up with immigration. And then you get called a racist for saying this is a great replacement of Canadians with, non-Canadians.
The reason all that's happening, and the reason we're still getting people surging into countries like that, is because birth rates aren't down everywhere. It's mostly just in developed and developing countries. The third world is exploding, where their birth rate is actually way elevated. Some of the poorest countries on earth, Haiti, Niger, and most
India,
of Africa.
I presume. India's
India has they're kind of in the middle. It's on its way down, but not nearly as much.
Indians
as other
are some
countries.
horny people. Well, there's a billion of them out there. Those guys
near
have
2 billion, I think.
These
Yeah.
tiny,
more.
poor little countries are exploding vastly beyond what they should be able to accommodate. Like Africa has millions and millions, perhaps billions more people than should be sustainable in those areas. And that's because for almost a century now, the first world has been subsidizing people to live there. We've been pouring all our resources, all our time, all our energy into places like Africa. Africa has become basically a welfare continent where, you know, this tiny little patch of dirt that could only, you know, produce crops to support a family of 5 now has 500 people on it because we made it so easy for them to survive there. You'll think about all the ads of, oh, you know, for just the price of a cup of coffee every day, you can help feed these people. Well, that's just encouraging more and more unsustainable birth rates there. So once they run out of resources, they either need more of our money or they just come here and get stuff.
What I find amazing about this story, the idea is that, like, you know, now having babies is far right, whatever extremism, if you want to call it that.
They're actually, like, I looked into it and they're actually scared of it because it happens to be that the people that are reproducing the most in the Western world are people that are from a strong religious faith, be it Mormons, being Orthodox Jews.
I think Muslims are like the number one.
Muslims are number one.
And that goes against whatever they want to do.
Just the funny thing is, though, all roads lead to accusations of far right extremism. Have family and have kids, far right extremism.
Racist.
Incel, far right extremism.
Here's the difference. When you're an incel, you don't have sex. They want you to have sex, but they don't want you to have kids. So if you're an incel, you're far right. But then once you get with a girl, you can be kind of a centrist liberal. But as soon as you impregnate that girl and decide to keep it, then you're far right again.
And when you get with an AI sex bot, then you're a progressive.
Yes.
Hey, keep Sarah out of this, all right? I don't need your damn mouth. She loves me.
You name her Sarah.
I love
name.
Sarah, but
That's
with the H.
so
It's
vanilla.
Sarah.
That's
she's extra.
so vanilla.
With an H or no H?
No, it's an H because she's
At the
extra.
end. Okay.
Like, Sarah! She knows. She's
But
like, I'm here,
but then you
Daddy.
brought up, well, anyhow, that's it. We
Guys,
need to have babies. Have babies.
It's just funny
have
that
babies.
we're right wing to have kids, but then the
Yeah.
other side is like, no, we want to do, like, Bill Gates and all them are like, there's too many of us anyway.
And
The plan's right in front of your face.
The thing that they freak out and try to complain about is You know, all you right-wingers are just saying that people should only exist to have babies. You want to turn women into breeding factories and men get to have as many women as they want. It's The Handmaid's Tale. It's not.
Yeah.
And The Handmaid's Tale is a flaming dumpster fire of literature.
The same people that are accusing the right of having babies and being, what was it, fascists? Or
Fascist
right-wingers.
Extremists.
But then that side also wants men to be able to have babies.
Weird.
Isn't that weird? Like,
Isn't that
oh,
weird?
you're racist and fascist for having babies. By the way, this guy who can't actually have a baby because he doesn't have uterus, he should be considered a mother and should be able to breastfeed children as well.
The point I wanted to make, though, is like they're trying to say you're reducing human existence down to just your only purpose is to reproduce. That's not what people are saying. Like, for me as a Christian, I believe the point of life is to glorify God and seek a relationship with him. One of the ways you do that is through having children.
Be fruitful and
the commandment,
multiply.
be fruitful and multiply. It's the fundamental thing. Like, in order for humanity to continue, we must reproduce, because if you don't do that, you don't exist anymore. And it's better for humanity to exist than to not
Vinny,
exist.
what would you rather have? 3 kids? Immediately, they just pop up.
Okay.
Beautiful kids.
Or-
and a wife. Or a Netflix special.
3
Right
kids
now.
3 kids and a wife.
3 kids and a
Dude,
wife?
do you know how much more content he would get for the Netflix special with 3 kids and a wife? Come on,
And
you gotta think.
Kelly would babysit.